Happy Sunday. It is 94 degrees and it is 4:21. Why do I have a pen in my hand? I'm glad you asked. I had to write myself some notes right here to cover today's what I wanted to talk about today. Just when I thought I was done talking about The Walking Dead. No, there's more. But hang on, y'all. Here it is. I wanted to find my half cover. Everybody's here for their lessons already. They're here for their lessons. I don't know why I'm leaving words out. Don't mind me. I think faster than my mouth talks because sometimes, there we go. Sometimes I am thinking about so many things and I want to just get it all out at once just to get it over with. I don't know why. I have a whole hour to kill. I might shut my car down in a little bit though so that it doesn't automatically turn off like it usually does. But first, there's other things that I wanted to open with, but as usual, I forget. But I'll start with the husband first. I went to go pick up his gifts today. I got him a new pair of house shoes because the ones that he has right now, it sounds like he's tap dancing on the floor. I don't like them. I can't stand them. And then they pick up everything from everywhere and I see his little footprints everywhere. And I'm like, no, these have got to go. And he had purchased some for himself. Was it this past Christmas or was it the Christmas before? I think it was the Christmas before from the Target. He paid $30 for those house shoes. House shoes are expensive. Anyhow, and he doesn't wear them because he says they're too big. I said, what do you mean they're too big? You ordered them your size. Yeah, but it all depends on the style and these are too big. I don't like them. So he goes back to his old ones. Is this person going to park behind me or is she like, I don't even know if it's a she, I'm assuming. Oh no, they're just going to stop in the middle of the road. Are they parking all the way back there? Surely there has to be some more parking near the front. See, I parked. Okay, I guess she is trying to decide, can I fit back here? Because there's a roadway behind me, and I moved as far to the front as I could behind the truck in front of me, so that I don't block that roadway, because you can't do that. You'll get pulled over by the cops or something, or you'll get a ticket. Okay, no, they're going to go around. They're going to go check, I think. But you do realize there's a car behind you following you, right? Oh, yeah, she does come here for lessons. She's not sure where to park. Ma'am, just go further up. You will find a spot, I promise you. Anyhow, what was I saying? Okay, so he wears his old house shoes and they're noisy. I can't stand them. And they're also dirty from the bottom. I can't stand that either because the apartment that we live in right now, the floors are ceramic tile and every little imperfection shows. Sometimes if it's a little wet from after mopping and my cat walks through, you will see her little paw prints everywhere. I'm like, you're kidding. I just mopped there. So I have to grab the mop again and go over it. Well, imagine with dirty house shoes, And I'm just like, ah. And then I hate stains in the bathroom on the floor. And for some reason, even with my shoes in the bathroom, it leaves a footprint. But only with my my tennis shoes, not with my sandals or anything like that. Those sandals that I wear with my socks, because I think they're the most comfortable thing ever to wear socks with sandals. However, my sandals are not very comfortable without socks. I've tried it already and they hurt my feet like really bad. And I'm like, oh, these are horrible without socks. So anyway, and yeah, I do look weird, but I'm in the comfort of my own home. Nobody can see it, so there. Sometimes I do come out though. Sometimes I will come out to throw the trash in them and I forget that I have them on. And I'm like, great, everybody's seeing me like that I look homeless walking around here throwing my trash, you know? Oh well, I'll wear that in my holy sweater. And because I'm really comfortable with that sweater. I love the way it feels, you know? But it has a big old hole on one side. But anyway, we're not talking about me. We're talking about the husband. Okay, so I'm like, I got him some shoes, right? And then I went to Bath and Body to get him this body wash. And I regret not getting another one while I was there. Because they were like $5.95 right now. And so I got him a body wash. And if they're still on sale, though, I'm going to check tonight. So I can order another one or two, you know, or maybe I'll order that and the cream, because I got him the body wash and the cream. He doesn't like the sprays that they sell, but I got him that, and his I guess pheromones from his body, they hold the fragrance. I don't hold anything for the life of me, you know. I could spray the crap out of me with expensive perfume, and an hour later you won't smell it on me anymore. My skin just absorbs everything for some reason. But anyway, my hair is even worse. I just washed my hair yesterday and it doesn't even smell clean anymore today. But oh, that's because we went to okay, I'll talk about that in a minute. So okay, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I got him that stuff. However, I had ordered him this different kind of fragrance, and it's a new line that they have there, and it was called something Hunter. And I said, oh, that looks cute, something different for him, because I always get him the teak wood, mahogany teak wood, because I love the way that smells. He loves the way that smells, and he's always telling me, I'm running out of this, you need to get me some more of this. And I'll be like, okay, you know. I said, by the time you get home, they'll probably have it on sale again, and I'll get you some more. And he'd be like, okay, that'll work. So I wanted something different. I go and I pick it up, and by the way, they never informed me that my order was ready. They usually send a text or an email like, your order's ready for pickup. I had to call the number. So I called the number to the store, and it connects you to like a 1-800 automated system or something. And that's how I found out my order was ready. I had to put my order number in the system. I was able to say it instead of having to press every number on the keypad, and it told me that my order was ready. So I get there, I pick it up, and I smell it. I said, let me stop and smell it just in case I don't like it, you know. So I stopped there in the middle of the store, and I opened, you know, the body wash, and I smell it, and I'm like, ugh, it smelled like old man, like, ugh. And I said, no, we're not taking this. So I asked one of the workers there, who was a guy, but he was wearing those fake nails that were very sharp. I mean, they looked pretty, but I'm like, why? You know? And I just said, hey, you know, quick question. If I don't like this, can I exchange it for a different one? And he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. And he's like, why don't you just get one and take it up there and ask, and then, you know, they can change it. And I said, no, I'll take both of them. I said, I'm going to take both and I'll ask. If not, you know, oh well, you know, I'll ask for a refund or something. But yeah, I don't know what I was thinking about this fragrance here. I've never smelled it before. I thought it would be cute, but no, I don't like it. And he's like, okay, you know. So he wasn't really much help. She. I grabbed the two that I did like, and then I was thinking, I could have saved myself a long trip, because I went across town to that Bath and Body, because the Bath and Body near me didn't have that particular one. that I purchased, right? That I did, the one that I didn't like. And I'm like, why do I do this to myself? What the hell was I thinking, you know? So I went up and I exchanged them, and no problems or anything. The girl did it really quick, and I was like, wow, I like how efficient she is, because if I would have done it at the other one, they would have been like, how do I do this? Brenda, I don't know how to do a return or an exchange. You're exchanging it, right? Yeah, I don't know how to do that, Brenda. You know, and I would have been waiting there like, okay, like, she'll help in a minute. I'm going to take the next customer. Okay, next customer. And I would have been standing there like an idiot, you know? So I'm glad that this girl over here at this location, she was just like, yeah, da 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 da, like nothing, you know, just da 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 da. And she was talking to her coworker about I don't even know what. I wasn't even paying attention. I was watching her, and it was like she could almost do it with her eyes closed. She's like, here you go, here's your receipt, thank you, have a great day. And I was like, wow. I'm like, thanks, you know, like she made it so easy. Like I didn't even have to like stand there and justify my exchange, you know. So that was great. And then I got me a nice coffee, and then I went home. I ate some leftovers from yesterday. Then I had to go pick up my son. I did a lot of running around after church today. And yeah, so after all that, and after making throwing in some chicken in the crock pot, because I made my chicken pasta that I love to make in the crock pot. When I picked up my son, I was like, I made some chicken and pasta. And he's like, did you put cheese? And I go, well, yeah, I need to put cheese. And he's like, then I don't want it. And I'm like, what? No, I prefer to get nuggets at McDonald's. I'm like, well, you know, I did all these stops. I got all the ingredients, and then I had forgotten the pasta. And I had to stop at the market to get pasta because I forgot it at the grocery store. And also that he could tell me, no, I don't want it. That's an ungrateful little kid, you know. But I ate it. It was so good. You know, I ate it just a little while ago. I ate a little bit on a plate. I'm like, well, if I'm hungry later, I'll eat some more. You know, I'll eat some tomorrow, whatever. You know? And then I got this thing with my husband. You know, yesterday in yesterday's video, I was talking about A Night in Heaven and how Ricky Rocket was dancing in front of, I forgot her name, Kay, whatever. I think it's Kay. I don't know. I forgot her name. Leslie Ann Warren, the actress. I was telling him a little bit about the movie, and then I said, would you ever do that for me? And he's like, yeah, we can dance. And I'm like, we? I'm like, no. I mean, like, you dancing. And he's like, oh, I don't even know if I know how anymore. He's like, I'm so rusty now. I haven't danced in ages. And I said, no, I mean, you dancing for me. And he just stays quiet like he still doesn't get it. You know, a sexy dance for me. And he's like, oh, I've never done that before, babe. And I'm like, I'll help you. You know, like, will you do it? And he's like, well, I guess. He goes, but I really don't know how to do it. Don't you worry about it. I'll help you. I will help you. You know? And I'm just like, I hope you don't ask me to do it in return, because I'm not in the best condition to do it. Like, I'm not thin anymore. And that's another thing. When I took my son to pick up McDonald's, his nuggets, I said, oh my God, you know, child, look at the cashier. She is so skinny. You know, her waist was like this big. She was a tiny girl. She was short, but her waist from the front and the back was this big. I kid you not. And I said, said, oh my gosh, she's so tiny, like almost like a doll-like tiny. And my son looks at her and he's impressed. He's like, oh, because he likes thin girls, okay? And I said, did you see that? Did you see how she has no tummy at all? Like, she's just so tiny. Her waist is so little. And I said, now look at mine. And he starts laughing. And I'm like, well, it's not that funny, you know? I said, well, maybe if you see me from behind, my waist will look that tiny, but when I turn around, it'll be like, oh, I don't know about that one, you know? And I'm like so embarrassed because I have gained weight again. I've like gained 17 pounds. I just rounded off to 20. I just say 20 now. Even though I'm not confessing it, I'm not speaking that over me, but yeah. It had a lot to do, though, with the antibiotics I was taking. And I'm not using that as an excuse. But I have been on and off antibiotics for the past 2 months already. And those really messed up my stomach. They would make me get all puffy and bloated and gassy. And I was just miserable. I would throw up also a lot. And I was dizzy. It was just horrible, horrible experience. And I am not doing these anymore. I'm done. I am done. Like, give me something different. I don't want this anymore, you know? But anyhow, yeah, and then my son had me watch a video about angels yesterday. And I didn't think I was going to find it interesting. He bought me dinner yesterday. And the reason I say lunch, dinner is because he and we only eat twice a day. The husband will eat 3 to 4 to 5 times a day. Not me. I can't eat that much. He eats that much because he doesn't get to eat that much out there on the road. So when he's home, he likes to indulge. And the husband is skinny, by the way. He is as skinny as can be. I can't remember how much he weighs. Like, I want to say it's 150, and he's like 5'8", and he weighs 150, you know, but he doesn't look like sickly skinny or anything like that. He just has no tummy, you know. He looks great for his age, and I'm just like, oh, you know, when I lost weight, I loved it because I felt like, okay, I fit in with him now. But now that I'm gaining weight again, I'm just like, great, I'm the fat one again, you know, in the relationship. But anyhow, and it's weird because my area where I have fatness is only in my stomach area. You know, it's nowhere else. It's not my legs. It's not my arms, you know, nor my butt. How I wish it would go back there. It's just my tummy, you know. But anyway, that's probably like cortisol. I know some of you are thinking, no, it's cortisol. Probably, because I'm always stressing out about everything. And as they used to say, wigging out. I wig out about every little thing. And speaking of wigging out, the neighbor. Yesterday I mentioned on how she wanted to come by yesterday, but only if her other plans didn't work out with her other friend. And I was like, oh, so I'm the backup plan, you know? And I didn't like that too much. Well, she never reached out to me yesterday anymore. Or ever, you know. The last time she reached out was Thursday. And so I was kind of like relieved. And my son and I went to go do stuff that we didn't even expect to do. We went to a Summerween. And I'll get to that in a sec too. But today, when I was out running around, she texted me. She's like, hey, we're going to stop by today. Are you available? And I said, well, she's asking if I'm available. And I'm like, I really didn't want visit today. Like, I didn't want to, like, I wasn't up for visits today, you know? I just wasn't. And I woke up in a bad mood, by the way, you all. No surprise there. But I was just like, man. And what do I text back? Okay, yes, I'll be here. And then I was just like, I'm just going to take my son to guitar practice. It's only going to be an hour, and then I should be home afterwards, right? And I told her what time and everything, and she's like, oh, okay, well, I was thinking about stopping by to like 6:30 or 7. And I said, well, what if it rains? And she's like, right, it might rain. I'll take my car. And I was just like, dang. I was trying to like get her mind off of it, but man, that didn't work. And so I'm like, oh, great, you know? And then she says, but I'm also going to stop by to see Dee and Lucy. Lucy is another dog that lives there with Dee. I'm not going to say his name, but he's the brother of the neighbor that I find so annoying, you know? And I don't know if this came out wrong for me. I just texted her back and I said, oh, well, if you don't mind, can you visit me first and then visit Dee and Lucy? That way you can have more time with them. And she didn't respond. She probably got offended by that. And I could see how that came out wrong. But you all, at the same time, what I'm doing is I'm putting my boundaries, because she was trying to do it again to me like she did last time. She's trying to put somebody else in front of me. And I know already that what she was thinking is, I'll go visit Dee first and Lucy, and I'll spend a whole hour there, and in the last 30 seconds, I will go visit her and just say hi and bye, and oh, I gotta go now. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be second choice again. Sorry, lady. You can come visit me first for your 30 seconds, and then go with Dee for your hour, and then go home from there. You know, but no, I'm not gonna be waiting around for you to come over to my apartment while you spend all your time over there, and I'm trying to relax. I'm trying to watch something on TV or do something on my computer, or just freaking put on my jammies and get in my bed and relax. Like, who cares what I want to do? The thing is like, no, I'm not going to wait around for you, and you're not going to put somebody else first. And you're not going to have the guts to tell me that you're going to put somebody else first again, like you did last time, you know? So I take it as putting my boundaries, you know? And I'm very proud of myself for it. I really am, because usually I'm just like a pushover. I let people walk all over me until the old me would like blow up. I would literally blow up on you, and I would lose it. But the new me is like, okay, what kind of boundary can I set with this person? I'm so sick and tired of them stepping all over me. What do I put? Where do I draw the line, and how? You know? And now I'm more of a thinker that way, and then I execute. You know, which I think it's better. Now, am I perfect? No. Sometimes I do like lose my shish, you know, and I'll start. I'll let it all out. Let's just put it that way. I'll let it all out, you know. But I'm trying not to, because I am a Christian, and I'm trying to be a good Christian. Ugh. And you know why I say it like that? Because I don't know what the deal is with my church. I brought it up last weekend, and I'm going to bring it up again. What is their deal with closing off a whole section in the back? You're not cleaning the seats. It's not going to take all summer to clean those seats. Why do you want everybody bunched up in the middle? Like, why are you making some people uncomfortable? Like, I'm very uncomfortable. The same woman that sat in front of me last week, where I saw the back of her head, she sat again right in front of me today. I was going to say yesterday. Today. Only this time she had her hair pulled back, so I was able to see past her. But, I mean, I don't know why her daughter, and her husband, they had all the room at the end of that row. He could have sat at the end, and then her daughter. Oh, no. He was like, move over, honey, move over. And next thing I know, her head is right in front of me again. And I'm like, what is your deal? What is your deal, honestly? All the seats here, and you'd have to come over here in front of me, you know? And I was just like, oh. And I was like, you know what? And I told myself, if it gets to the point where I cannot see, I'm going to move in front of them. And I'm going to sit my butt right in front of her so that she can know what it feels like. But no, like I said, I was able to see through her head, and practically. And I was able to still enjoy the service. But I was thinking, like, why, you know? And I wanted to ask the guy, one of the ushers behind me, like, sir, can I just ask why they have that section closed off? Like, why do they want everybody in the middle if not everybody's comfortable being so tight with everybody else? You know, that's why we kind of like spread out. But I didn't get to because I was a little late, of course, to service. I was there at the second song of praise and worship. So I didn't get to ask, and it was dark again. You couldn't see, and I'm like, and I kind of want to call and ask the office, you know? Because I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to be reasonable here, because, I mean, you really not saving in light. You have to still air condition the whole auditorium, or whatever you want to call it, the sanctuary, whatever you call it, you know? So you still got to keep the air on. So what is the difference between letting anybody sit anywhere they want to closing off certain sections and have everybody all bunched together in the middle, making people so uncomfortable, and not everybody is able to see to the front because there's these people that get there. And you know what? Speaking of, this couple walked in, and I don't know what the right word. They were full? No. They were full-figured. Let's just say it that way. Both of them. Both the girl and the guy, full-figured. They sat a couple of rows. I mean, did I say that right? No, I said rolls, didn't I? I'm sorry. I did not. That came out wrong. Don't. I'm so embarrassed now. I didn't mean to say rolls. I meant to say rows. They sat a couple of rows in front of us, and us meaning me and those three people that were already sitting in front of me. And let me tell you, the lady in front of me, Miss Big Head, she did not like that. And I'm like, good. Now you know what it feels like. I was still able to see past her and them, but I was like happy because I'm like, good. Now you know what it's like when you get here and you sit your butt down in front of me and all I see is the back of your freaking head when I want to see the service, you know? And then the daughter tried to do this thing where she kept like trying to get close to her. Like, oh, is it this scripture right here? This scripture? And I just wanted to tell her, like, ma'am, do you mind? I'm trying to see and I can't. Because she was really getting on my last nerve. And I'm like, come on. You can look up your scriptures when you get home. Have family time at home, over lunch, over dinner, and look up the scriptures. Say, hey, Mom, you know, what was that scripture that he said? But why are you doing in the middle? Why are you asking in the middle of a service and being disruptive? Like, everybody's trying to pay attention. They're trying to see the stage, to see the pastor past all these heads and all these full-figured bodies. And here you are asking about a scripture. Like, seriously? Like, I could understand. Like, I asked my friend, I was like, what did he say? Genesis what? 1:17? Or was it 1 through 17? I asked her that. Really quick question. Back to concentrating on the service. I wasn't there like, what scripture was that? Let me, with my book. Mom, was it this one? Was it this one? Oh, or was it this one over here? I'm like, seriously? Seriously. Like, you're in your 20s already. Like, come on. Anyway, I'm going to get into a rant if I keep this up. So, okay. Summerween. So first, my son told me next door to the restaurant where he works at, they were going to have vendors. They usually do. It's a little marketplace. It used to be a selfie studio. That didn't work out because I was just like, that's ridiculous. I understand your idea where people can go and pay to take pictures. I get it. But yeah, that was such a bad idea. I don't know why you thought that was going to work out, because nobody wants to take selfies in fake places. You want to take it where you're actually somewhere, where there's a scene behind you, or even if it's in your home, in your kitchen, but you're somewhere. You're not in a building with grass behind you, on the wall and taking a selfie. That's just ridiculous. I'm sorry, but that didn't work out. That business didn't last long. And now they opened like some kind of market, and it is a very small place, very small. And yesterday they were having Halloween vendors, according to my son and according to their flyer. So I asked my daughter-in-law, hey, you want to go with me? You want to go check this out? Jacob and I were going to check it out, after work, And yes, I just gave you my son's name. I can't believe I did that again. Anyhow. And she's like, sure. Can I ride with you? And I go, of course. It's trust me, it's not even a big thing. It's really quick. Sometimes I have them outside, sometimes in the inside, sometimes it's both. It's a very small place. She's like, okay, no worries. So we went. Nothing in there was Halloween. Last time it was all K-pop and some jewelry. This time it was all essential oils, and not even the good kind. It was like, I don't know, they ordered these oils from Shein or something, and they're trying to sell it for like $10. Or not even $10. More like $20. I'm like, you're crazy. I'm not paying you $20 for an oil. And then this lady's like, oh, this is tallow, and you're welcome to try some. And I'm like, yeah, I've heard about tallow. So I tried some on my hand to see if it was moisturizing, because my hands, you all, I have old lady hands. I'm too embarrassed to show you. I'll just show you this part right here. How dry my hands are and dark. And that's probably has something to do with me, because I don't wear gloves when I do my house chores. I'm not like the normal people. I just go for it. Sometimes I will wear a plastic glove, though. I will wear a plastic glove when I do the bathrooms. I will not touch the bathrooms without gloves. But and I'm talking about my own apartment. I don't clean for a living. If I did, I would wear them all the time. But I don't know. I wash a lot of dishes at home too. Like, I'm always cooking and washing dishes. And yesterday, yes, I did burn my oatmeal when I was doing my video. But it was still edible, so I ate it. However, now I need to find something to clean the top of the stove with, because it didn't want to come off. But, she had me try that tallow, and at first I thought, oh, it's kind of moisturizing. I didn't even ask her how much it was, because I was like, I don't know where this came from. And I'm lucky that my skin didn't break out, because who knows how many people tried that. And I didn't even think about it when she offered it to me to try, And I'm just like, no. And there was another little area where they had wigs and stuff, and I'm like, no. And there was a person in the very back that was supposedly doing tarot reading and stuff, and I'm like, let me guess, you probably charge $25 for 15 minutes or 10 minutes to spew bullshit. Yeah, no, I'll pass. I was not interested at all. I gave that up a long time ago, thank God, because there was a time that I was really addicted to it. There was a time that I wanted to learn how to do it. there was a time when my younger child would order these tarot cards from I don't know where, and they looked really pretty and exciting, and I thought, oh, I could do this, because when my mom was alive and I was younger, she would take me to these tarot readers with her, and there was a woman that she would go to, one particular woman, an older woman. She was willing to teach me how to learn, because while she was giving my mom a reading, I started to pick up on what the cards meant. And there was a time where she kind of slipped and she couldn't remember what that card meant, and I told her, and she's like, your daughter's very smart. She's picking up a lot for me. If you'd like, I can teach her how to do this, and she can start making money herself. And my mom was like, yeah, oh yeah, and not because of the money part or anything, but because this lady saw something in me that I guess she saw as potential to make money and do this for a living or on the side. And my mom bought me my first deck of tarot, and I was trying to learn how to do it and everything, and something inside of me just told me to stop. I just wasn't feeling too comfortable with it. I wasn't getting any big signs per se, like any paranormal activity like I have been through the years, but at that time I wasn't getting anything like that, and I don't know, I just didn't want to do it anymore, and I threw them away. And my mom didn't even know I threw them away. My mom never even asked me about it anymore. But yeah, you would think that I would stop there, but I threw those out, and then I started getting into candles and stuff, and I dabbled in a lot of paganism, because at that time of my life, you go through so much, and I've spoken about this before, and I'm not going to get into the whole detail about the relationship with my mother and my upbringing. You want help, and sometimes you're in that position where you're like, God, where are you? Why aren't you helping me? And I wasn't even a born-again Christian yet. But I went through that a lot. And when you're in something, going through something like right now, you want the quickest way out, right? Trust me, it wasn't the quickest way out. It just brought in more turmoil into my life. And if you're doing something like that, I can tell you that the same thing's going to happen with you. You may think everything's great right now. Everybody's looking up to you. Everybody wants a card reading from you. You can charge for personal readings or take donations. But it'll catch up. You may have this protection on you for a while, even a long while, but it'll catch up. And you don't want that. You do not want that. And so, yeah, once I gave that all of that up, I'll admit, sometimes I'm like, oh man, there was this lady that I used to go to. She was a medium. And she was spot on all the time. She charged me a pretty penny too for a whole hour. But she would answer every question, and it was accurate, There are times that I still pass by there because it happens to be in a very familiar street around here. In fact, it's on a street that's not too far away from here. And I wonder if she's still there doing consultations, But then I think back to those times, those dark times that I went through and everything that I experienced. And I'm like, no, it's not worth it. No, thank you. No. There was a funny instance, though, where I went, I was already at the dealership. I was already born again. this guy that I met was going to some lady, and in fact, I was outside of town today, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try her out, you know? And so I went with her. By this point, I had already had my hysterectomy, and she was telling me that I was having back cramps and that I was expecting my period and pregnancy and all this other stuff. And I'm looking at her like, no, really? And what else do you see? You know? And she just went on and on and on. And I was like, okay, great. I said, here you go. And it was, I think she charged me like $10. And I'm like, here you go. I'm like thinking to myself, apparently you needed these $10 more than I did, and I'm glad I could help. You know, and I just laughed. I laughed about it in the car on the way home. And I'm like, yeah, I won't be going back to her again. You know, but it's just, the only person, the only author of our lives is God. Okay? Nobody else. Don't even bother. Nobody can tell you your future. Only God can tell you the plans that He has for you. And thank God for that, because they're plans for good, not to cause you harm. And one last thing I wanted to say about that too is that just know that when you go to these people, you're opening up yourself to other spirits. Not just the spirits that they talk to, but the spirits that they're carrying around, and the spirits that they picked up from other people that they have done readings on. Yeah, and take that to the bank, okay? Because, yeah, just trust me on that. Just trust me. And it's something that I can see with the little discernment that I have. I pray for discernment every day. But the little discernment that I have is, yeah, just trust me on that. So we went to that, and then, oh my goodness, who is this? My doors are locked, right? Yeah. Okay, there was this man, I guess he's homeless, passing around by my car. No, he can't be homeless. Apparently he went to the HEB, but that's quite a ways away from where we're at. Poor man. Okay, so after that, I asked my younger son, I was like, was that all, you know, the Halloween thing? And he's like, yeah. And I said, well, your brother gave me this flyer. Well, he sent it to me. He texted to me about another Halloween event going on right now, and it's called Summerween. And it's downtown at the park. And I was like, it's going to be from 4 to 9. Do you want to go to that? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm very frustrated. I've had a long morning at work, and it's been busy. And I was just there last night, and I don't like that schedule. And he kept going on, and I was like, okay, so I guess we're going, you know? And that's when we brought lunch first. He bought it for me. And then, you know, I started to get ready to go. And it was really hot, you all, when we went. And I was like telling him, man, you know, it was so pretty at 8 o'clock at night that we should have gone at night instead, because it was cloudy. It was already going to rain, but it was cloudy, and it was going to be over in an hour anyway. And it would have just been, I think, a much better experience, because when we went, it was so hot. And I wore this cute little blouse that I have, shirt that I have of Halloweenish. And it said something about witches. I forgot what it said, but it said something about witches. And then I had a witch on the front. And then I wore my black pants and my other tennis shoes. And, of course, I had makeup on and everything. And I thought, well, I didn't like, what do you call that? I didn't like, do anything different with my face or nothing like that. Like, it wasn't Halloweenish. I just wore makeup to cover up the real Halloween face that I have right now with no makeup. But anyhow, we went to that, and I was like, wow, you know, this is really cool. But as we walked in further in, there was like a ton of vendors, and it was all like, I don't know. I was like really like disappointed. And the vendors, it was again your jewelry, your oils, and the rest was just food. And then there was some clothes there. My son likes what he calls vintage, or what a lot of you young people like to call vintage. It wasn't vintage. It's from back in the 80s. Thank you very much. And it was like those rock shirts, other t-shirts that have like some horror on there, like Chucky or something. That's not vintage, you all. Those are like not that long ago. Anyway, whatever. So that's all they had. And they had some shirts there that were like reasonably priced. They were like 2 for $25 or something, which I thought that was reasonable. The jewelry was hell of expensive. And then we went by some place where I was looking for black cats. Like everywhere I go, I look for a black cat, a stuffy, you know? I like collecting those. Well, this girl had one big one in a basket, and it was $20. And my son's like, I'll get it for you. And I'm like, no, that's too expensive for you. Like, no. And I said, no. And then I asked her, do you have a smaller one? And she's like, it just sold. And I was like, oh, man. And she's like, I'm sorry. And I said, no, well, it's not your fault. You got to sell, right? And I was like, man, I'm looking for a smaller one. I like the smaller. I don't like too big. And I said, oh, okay, well, I'll think about that other one. I'm going to like walk around and stuff. Well, there were no other black cats around. It was all, like I said, jewelry. There was this one ring that I liked, though. And I didn't get to ask how much it was because the lady that was, I guess, in charge of her tent, she never came to the front. She was back in the back talking to some other people that were sitting down, I guess, that went with her. And I'm like, lady, you need to come to the front to sell your items, you know? And plus, if you really want to keep an eye on people, you know, you need to come to the front. I don't know what you're doing back there just talking away. There was a ring. I did not touch it. And I told my son, I don't want to pick up anything around here because people are going to think I'm going to try to take it. I'm like, no, thank you. But it was a ring. It was silver. It had a skull in the front and a heart. It had one skull on one side and a heart on the other. It wasn't gaudy or anything. It was kind of small. And I was like, hey, I would wear that. You know, that's actually pretty cool. And I was like, I wonder how much it is. And I was trying desperately to look, you know, to see if there was a tag somewhere around there. Nothing. You would have had to probably picked it up and seen if there was a price on the bottom or something. But I'm like, I'm not touching anything here. And like I said, she was back there. She never came to the front. So I was just like, forget it. And plus I was really hot too. And so we only like walked around for a little bit. Then we left. And there was a gazebo there. And it had like a whole bunch of candles in the front and stuff. And you all, I'm getting stuffy. There was a whole bunch of candles in the front. And I thought, oh, I wonder if they're gonna have a show. I said, do you want me to ask the guy if they're gonna have a show? And he's like, well, we're not gonna stick around long enough. And I said, fair enough. All right. And so we ended up leaving there. I turned off my car because I don't want it to shut off on its own. We ended up leaving, and then when we got to my car, we saw that the vehicle right next to me, I think it was a Jeep or a truck, I don't remember now. Well, the vehicle that parked across from it, we saw that it was parked so close that it hit it. But the guy didn't do anything about it. There were two young guys, and Spanish speaking, and the one that was the passenger said, no, come on, let's go. And they proceeded to walk into, you know, the event rather than let me move the car back, let me see if I did any damage. And I was just like, oh man, let's just get out of here because I don't want to be a witness to this. And the last thing I was wanting is somebody to do that to me, you know? And I know y'all are going to be like, well, man, you should have stayed around to tell the person who did it. You should have taken pictures or something. You should have called them. You should have told somebody. But honestly, on that side of town, you don't want to get involved. Where I live and on that side of town, you do not want to get involved. In other words, it's on the other side of the railroad track. On the other side, where we live, yeah, you can get involved, but not that side, okay? And especially not around there. So I just said, that's what I was worried about the entire time we were inside the event. I was worried, like, who's gonna, like, hopefully nobody hits my car from the front, from the back, from the side, you know, my mirrors, because there's already like a little, not a scratch, but like a chip on my passenger mirror on the back. There's a little teeny weeny white spot, and I'm like, oh, I thought it was like bird poop or something. And I'm like, oh no, somebody hit it already. Great. And that could have happened anywhere. That could have happened at church. That could happen at the HEB, you know, but not there. And so anyway, we went home, and then I was telling my son, hey, we should go to the movies or something. It's getting cloudy again. Yay, I hope it rains. Oh, there goes a black and white state trooper. Yay. One of them was right beside me earlier on the way home, and I was like, I've got my dash cam, sir. If you want to pull me over, you can, but you're going to be recorded. Just know. And I was going like below the speed limit. Like I didn't want to mess up at all. And he followed me. Like he was right beside me down the whole street, like the entire time until I turned left when I got my coffee. But anyhow, so see, that's why I didn't park near the path over here in the back, because he probably would have come up to me and been like, ma'am, you need to move your vehicle or I'm going to give you a ticket. And what are you doing here? They would ask me all kinds of questions because I look guilty. But I don't know why I have this guilt face that everybody thinks I have. It's either I'm up to something or I'm hiding something. I'm like, great, you know, I don't know what it is, but apparently I'm trouble. And we get home back to the apartment, and I'm saying, let's go to the movies. Well, that became another argument with the child, because he was like, I want to go see Obsession. I'm like, what the hell is Obsession? The movie that you keep forgetting to look up. And I'm like, ugh. I said, I want to go see Disclosure Day. I've been waiting months for this movie to come out. It's finally out. I want to go see it. I don't want to see Disclosure Day. What? What? Why not? I don't want to see it. I'm not interested in it. But it's about aliens. I'm not an alien person. Since when are you not into what I'm into? When did this happen? What the hell? And I'm just like, great. I said, you know what? Fine. I'll look up Obsession. But after that movie, I want to go see Disclosure Day. No. There's only 3 movies that I want to see this year. And that's not one of them. I want to see that one, and I want to see something. God, I forgot what it was called that he said. Something about Circus, Digital. I don't know. Some crap. And then another one that I can't even remember because I'm not even interested in any of them, okay? So I was just like, fabulous. Like, who am I going to go see Disclosure Day with? I'm just going to have to wait for the husband. I'm going to say, look, husband, I watch Hallmark. I watch all these torturous movies with you when you're home just to spend time with you. I am asking you one time, and it's PG-13. It's not even rated R. Will you please watch Disclosure Day with me? And I know I'm going to hear all kinds of crap from him. He's going to be like, that's why we don't have any peace in the house. Because you watch all these gory movies about the zombies and aliens. We have no peace. And I'm like, well, we have no love either with your Hallmark. But I only tell them not to tease him. Anyhow, let's just not even go there, okay? Let's just not even talk about that right now. But I'm just like shocked with my son right now. I really am, and I'm disgusted. So I look up the movie, not Disclosure, The Obsession. I looked it up. You know what it's about in a nutshell? It's just stupid, cheesy, young kid movie about this guy that has some kind of stick, some kind of magical stick. And he's really in love with this girl, and they're sitting in the car. It's like you watch the whole movie with the trailer. If you look up the trailer, you just watch the movie. And I feel like that's what just happened. And I'm like, look, I just saved you money right there. We just saw it, you know. I bet you that's all the good parts in the movie right there, the trailer. And so he says to the stick, I wish, whatever the girl's name is, I wish this girl was in love with me, like madly in love with me, like obsessed. And then he breaks the stick. And then next thing you know, the girl's like at the window, like this. And he's like, huh? And then she like apparently doesn't leave him alone. She's always looking at him. She's acting weird. And I'm like, are you serious? Is this what this movie is about? And then he makes a call to somebody about the stick, you know, and he's just like, how can I break this curse? Or what can I do, like, to get her to stop being so obsessed with me? And the guy tells him, I'm sorry, we don't do any returns. And then he's like, well, then what could I do? And he's like, you will have to, like, off yourself. He's like, what? You know, and I'm like, are you... yeah, that's my question. What? Like, this is the movie that my son wants to see? Ugh. Nothing to do with survival, humanity, or guns. Nothing. Like, come on now. Ugh. That reminds me of this game that I was watching one time with some other people. It was funny to me. I think they found it funny too. Hang on, I need to turn the car back on. It's getting warm in here. Okay. And I found it funny too because, you know, they invited me in. And I'm like, all right. I'm not very sociable. I really don't like to talk to other people because I don't know what to talk about, but I'll show up. So I showed up, right? And this is over the phone, like on Discord or something. And he's playing some game where he's like farming, I guess. He's planting plants and watering them. And I'm like, all right. Is this it? And they were just sitting there. Like, the other two people were just there, like, watching. They weren't even talking. They were watching him play this game. And I understand. Look, I'm not saying anything bad about this at all. Sometimes it's just the presence that's welcomed. You don't have to talk the entire time. It's just the presence. The fact that you showed up. Like, that's enough. I get it. That would be enough for me too sometimes too. Sometimes, you know? Oh. You all, I haven't even gotten to my Walking Dead thing. I guess I'm going to have to save it for next Sunday, which kind of sucks because I've been trying to do like a series on it for this month. Yeah, that's not working out. My son's almost going to come out. Here, let me just put it away. We'll save it. It gives me a chance to be more prepared too. And, which it's not going to happen, by the way, but I'm going to try. And so, I'm like, where are the guns? And they're freaking out with me. They're like, moon? Guns? You know? And I'm like, listen. I'm from Texas. We like to carry around here. We like to shoot first and ask questions later. I need guns. Like, this isn't working for me. This is freaking me out. It is just too calm. I need to be killing a zombie or a monster. I need to kill something. You know, you can't have me watching you plant plants and watering them. I kill all my plants, and I don't do it on purpose. I just forget that I have them, and I don't water them. You know, like, no, I'm better off shooting something, you know? Even if it's a can, a target, something, you know? But this is wrong. That was so wrong. But I liked you all. I really did. Like, one of them, may she rest in peace. But the other two, I liked you all. The other one, I'm like, I had a big crush on. And now I'm trying to get over it. But I still kind of do. And if I were younger, like I mentioned several other times, I would definitely be all over you. Yeah, I would be the obsession. I would be obsessed. And you wouldn't even have to break a stick. That kind of sounded nasty, huh? Ooh, I like that. So anyhow, so here, this is going to be free of charge. I'm checking to see if my sun's coming out since I have my little shade up. Let me move you over because, yeah, people are starting to come out already. That event, let me move back a little bit because this truck in front of me wants to leave, just in case I need more room. That event was it fell short for me. Both of them actually did. I like the idea of having a summerween because we have Christmas in July. Why not Halloween in the summer? However, if they would have asked me what they should do, I would have come up with so many other ideas, including, again, this is free of charge since I don't have the money to do it. I'm giving the idea away to anybody who lives in my area to have 3 days of Halloween. 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because having only one day is not enough to begin with. A lot of people, you'll be amazed how they're into Halloween. Is it still recording? Yeah. Oh, wow. It's been over an hour. I would definitely have a costume contest for adults and children. I would have other events going on, even if I hate tarot reading or palm reading, I would have that there. I would have a mini haunted house for the adults and children friendly. Nothing gory, you know? And I know you all are like, Moon, I thought you were a Christian. Why are you even liking Halloween? You're not supposed to like Halloween. It's the devil. It's evil spirits. I happen to really like Halloween. I've always liked Halloween. Was always my favorite holiday. Oh, it's a dog. Who are you barking at, doggy? Are you barking at me, or are you just barking at the air? It's a big black doggy too. Okay, look, doggy, I'm gonna move forward so you don't have to see me anymore. There. I would do that, and as far as vendors, I would have way more vendors, and I would have less of the crap of selling food that sucks. Okay? If you're gonna sell something good. Not your, here your nachos and your corn in the cup or anything like that. Ugh. Have something good. Have your turkey legs or something that's going to benefit the vendor and you, because I'm pretty sure you're going to get a cut from it, you know? And then if you're going to have clothes, have people selling clothes, make sure it's like the vintage idea was great, you know, but if you're going to sell clothes, make sure it's gothic clothes. Also jewelry, more gothic jewelry. Make it more adult oriented, but also kid friendly, because the adults are the ones with the money and they're the ones that are going to spend it, not the kids. The kids, you can have a little section for the kids, a little mini section for them, maybe something they can play around in. And they'll be satisfied with that. You know, you don't have to do anything like, oh, we gotta sell kids clothes and kid food. No, I think that would be good enough. But like I said, make it for 3 days, you know? And I think it would be a really good hit. I really do. Because like I said, there were like a lot of people showing up when we got there. There were some people still coming in, but they weren't sticking around long enough because it wasn't really enough to see. You know? And I'm just like, man, the possibilities with this, what I would go with, you know? And, you know, you can call it the 3 days of Summerween, you know? Or even just 2 days. 2 days of Summerween. But 1 day is not enough. And I would really go for the 3. I'm telling you. I would go for the 3. But anyhow, that's all I've got for today. I feel kind of bummed out that I didn't get to what I wanted to talk to you all about The Walking Dead. But I guess I'll just call this my Sunday chit chat. I don't know. But if you made it this far, thank you for listening. Sending everyone good vibes. Bye.